Good afternoon. Welcome everyone. It's a great pleasure to not see you, but believe that you are there. And we will start in a minute or two. We will allow everybody to join. So make yourself comfortable, and we will be starting very shortly. Good afternoon once again. We currently have 90 participants connected. There were over 200 registrations, so I will wait when the number of connected participants hits 100, and then I will start. '96. And action, 100. Welcome everybody. My name is Tomas Novotny. It's a great pleasure to be here today. I'm looking forward to hearing all your questions, all your comments. I'm the co-founder and co-owner of Regardis, consultancy company providing regulatory services both in the EU as well as in the UK. If there's anybody brave enough to turn on his camera, turn on his microphone, please do so. Speak out loud. It would be great to see your faces and know that somebody is there, and to hear your questions live. Also, you can ask your questions through the chat window or the questions and answers window, and we will make sure that all the questions are answered. We will probably not have time to answer them live in this webinar, but as usual, we will answer all of them after the webinar and send you all the questions and answers in the webinar package. Part of the webinar package will be also the full recording as well as the presentation, so you don't have to take any notes, and you can focus purely on the information that we will be talking about. So without any undue delay, I will get going. So unlike my previous webinars on Brexit, which started with political claims and political situation, what kind of Brexit scenario it will be, if there will be Brexit, in what form, it is all clear now. Brexit is there. Transitional period was negotiated until the end of this year, and it's highly unlikely that anything would change about that. So all the changes should apply from the 1st of January 2021. And it's also quite clear now how the UK chemical regulations will look like In the past, the UK was seeking some kind of affiliated access to EU REACH or to chemicals legislation, ECHA databases, and so on. That was all thrown under the table, and now UK will have a full-blown own regulation on chemicals, which will almost 100% mirror the obligations and the stipulations of EU REACH, of course accommodated to the UK legal system, but the obligations and requirements will be practically the same as in EU. In practice, that means that if you are trading, if you are placing your chemicals on the market in the EU and in the UK, you will have double obligations. That does not apply only to REACH, but also to other regulations. But in this short webinar, we will focus on REACH exclusively. So let's take a look at the main obligations. As you probably know from EU REACH, one of the basic obligations in EU REACH is registration, and the same will be introduced in UK REACH, where transitional provisions were installed to ensure continued supply to the UK after the Brexit transitional period. We will take a close look at those transitional provisions in this webinar. Basically, it's a two-step process, how you can stay on the market in the UK if you already have an EU registration. So if you already have an EU registration, you will first need to notify your chemicals in the UK to the authorities, to UK HSE. And after that, you will be able to benefit from a transitional period of 2, 4, or 6 years to provide data for full registration. Again, we will take a closer look at that. But basically, there are two deadlines when it comes to UK notifications. The first one is at the end of April, and that applies to UK-based or Great Britain-based manufacturers with existing EU registrations or previously held EU registrations. So they will be able to notify until the end of April and then benefit from the 2, 4, or 6 year registration window. And similar procedure with a longer deadline will apply to UK downstream users relying on existing EU registrations. So if you are using EU registered substances in the UK, you will be able to do so after Brexit as well. And you will have to notify the chemicals you are using or buying until the 27th of October 2021, so within 9 months. Okay. If you do submit a notification, then why to do all this is to benefit from the longer transitional period for full registration, and that will give you 2, 4, or 6 years before you need to do the full UK registration. The deadlines are divided into 3 registration deadlines, just like it was in REACH. The first deadline is 27 October 2023, so 2 years, well, from now almost 3 years. And that applies to the highest tonnage band chemicals placed on the UK market above 1,000 tons or more per year. And the most hazardous chemicals like CMRs, carcinogenic, mutagenic, reprotoxic, and also to highly toxic chemicals to the environment. So very toxic to aquatic organisms in tonnages above 100 tons. That's the first registration deadline if you submit the notification. Second registration deadline would be for substances above 100 tons and all SVHC substances which will be placed on the candidate list, on the EU candidate list as of 27 October 2023. So until the first registration deadline, all the SVHC substances which will be in the EU list, in EU candidate list, will need to be registered in the UK until 2025. and the rest until 27 October 2027. I prepared a number of supply chain scenarios, how your registrations and your compliance might be affected depending on where you stand in the supply chain and where you source your chemicals. There's a really plethora of scenarios, so I will not go into detail, but I will try to cover the main ones. And we also had some questions before the webinar, which are related mostly to those supply chain scenarios. So I will try to take a look at these. I can see that we already have 12 questions in the chat window. So I will make sure to go through those either live or after the webinar. So let's take a look at the basic two scenarios. But before that, let's speak about the notification process, because that's the first thing you need to do if you are allowed to do it. That would be the first thing to do to sustain, to remain compliant in the UK. I was frequently being asked if this UK REACH notification if it will be similar to what we are used to from the EU in pre-registration, and my answer would be no. I think the most fitting EU REACH process that is similar to UK REACH notification is the inquiry. So if you are familiar with the inquiry process, that's probably the most similar process which will be introduced in the UK in terms of notification. The main reason is that in the UK REACH notification, you will need to provide substance identity data. So analytical protocols identifying your chemicals you want to notify. That wasn't required in EU pre-registration, but it is required in the EU inquiry. So that's the main challenge, I would say, in the UK REACH notification. Besides that, all the data requirements are quite straightforward and simple. You need to obviously identify yourself as the manufacturer or importer, who you are, what is your substance, how you use it, but in very general terms. And if you want to benefit from this transitional period, you also need to provide evidence that you have yourself registered in the EU, or you have used other registrations to be on the EU market. So either through only representative or through existing EU supplier who is a holder of the registration. If you prove it that you are buying from an EU registered supplier, you can do the notification and have this 2, 4, or 6 years period to do the registration yourself. Okay, I will stop right here to go through some of the main scenarios, and then we will get back to the other obligations which will be affected by Brexit. So I will stop sharing and turn on the camera. Okay, I hope you can still see me. And we will take a look at some of the questions related to the supply chain scenarios that you had. And I tried to draw a map of the world after Brexit. I hope you can recognize that UK, in terms of REACH and other EU regulations, will be stripped a little from Northern Ireland, because in Northern Ireland there will be special provisions. Basically, all EU chemical regulations will still apply in Northern Ireland with minor modifications, with minor changes. I'm very sorry, I hope I wasn't politically incorrect. I found that there's no official, legally official flag of Northern Ireland, so well, to be on the safe side, I placed both of the most officially used ones. So the obligations from REACH will apply to, let's call it Great Britain. Then we have, of course, the EU and the rest of the world. So scenario number one, and it was a question from Annika. I will read it out loud. If possible, I am hoping to get further insight into the downstream user notification process. What will happen to all the data that has to be provided prior to registration, and what will happen to the appointment of only representative under UK REACH, and how the latter can be achieved for affiliate companies. So I'll try to break it down. We have a UK downstream user on the scene who will be buying chemicals from either EU or from outside the EU. For those of you who will be downstream users, we can also call it importers for the moment. I will try to explain in a minute. But if you are basically buying chemicals from outside of Great Britain, so it will apply also to this, then you will be able to benefit from the notification process and from this transitional window if there is an existing EU registration upstream. So if this company here, or this company here has an existing EU registration, you will be able either to tell them to appoint an only representative, and then you are covered, or you can do the notification yourself, claim in the notification that you are relying on an existing EU REACH registration of your supplier from EU, outside world, or Northern Ireland, and you can do the notification, and then you will have no obligation, no registration obligations until 2023, 2025, 2027, depending on your substance and depending on your tonnage band. To do that, to do the notification, you will have until 27th of October 2021. So you have 10 months from now to do the notification to benefit from this transitional period. I hope that answered the question of Annika and maybe others. If not, just drop me a message into the chat window or speak out loud. Turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, whatever you feel comfortable with. In the meantime, I will switch to the question of Katarzyna, who was asking, I represent an EU manufacturer. We supply chemical substances to the UK. We consider appointing the only representative, but not this year. What is the latest date when the only representative has to be appointed? Can we deal without only representative till the October 2021? I will answer this as yes. So EU-based manufacturer selling chemicals to Great Britain can do so either persuading their customers to do the notifications themselves, or if you want to relieve your UK-based customers from these obligations, you can appoint an only representative, and you have until 27th of October 2021 to do so. So you still have 10 months to decide your best strategy and to take action. And second part of this question was what would be our obligation or our customer's obligation in this case? I think that I just covered that. And third question I selected here was from Jacek. It's a rather complex one, but it nicely shows several different scenarios. So I will clean it up a bit here, and let's take a look at it. Update of the obligations of chemicals distributor, trading company located in EU, who is going to prolong cooperation with end users located in the UK. So we have a trading company located in the EU. So it's not a manufacturer, but it would be something like an importer or distributor in the EU and wanting to remain on the market in the UK. Distributed chemicals are registered according to EU REACH by only representative of a producer outside of the EU. So the manufacturer is here selling the products to EU distributor, trader, whatever we call it, and from there it goes to the UK. And the question is if this distributor or this manufacturer or both of them can handle it somehow, if I simplify it. So the answer to that would be that, of course, this route is perfectly feasible. So the non-EU, non-UK, third world, third party, third country manufacturer can appoint an only representative in the UK, and this only representative will then take care of all the obligations, and the manufacturer can be selling to the UK. But through this route, it cannot work like that, because this EU company is not a manufacturer. So that's in theory, this route doesn't work, because in theory this EU-based distributor, trader doesn't have all information about the chemicals produced. So in practice, it may work if this company has all the data and all information about the produced chemicals, including degree of purity, impurities, manufacturing process, anything, to be able to compile a registration dossier. Then, in theory, also the EU-based distributor trader could appoint the only representative to file the UK registration, and then it would be the same as this. But it's a questionable scenario. How much time do we have left? 9 minutes. So I will take a look at the questions and answers window, and I'll try to answer one more question from Adrian. He was the fastest to ask, so he has the privilege to get an answer first. Can I ask about the situation in the event of a UK-based legal entity without a registration, but will need one under REACH? Does this notification and registration periods apply? Okay, we basically covered it already, but it's good to repeat and clarify. If you are an EU-based, doesn't really matter if manufacturer or downstream user or importer, you can do the notification in case you are relying on an existing EU registration from your supplier. So if somebody you are buying from, it can be either from EU, from third countries, Northern Ireland included. If you are buying a registered substance in the EU, you can do the downstream user notification as a UK-based company, and then you can benefit from this 2 for 6 years period when you kind of don't have to do anything. And as a downstream user, you need to do the notification by the end of October. As a manufacturer, you need to do the notification until the end of April. Okay, there are loads of other scenarios and things like re-import, re-export, only representative holding existing registrations. We will not be able to cover all of those here, but I would be very happy to hear your situation. and to give you the best advice, and take a close look together with you at your best strategy, how to sustain compliance in the UK after Brexit. So at any point, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email, call me, and we can take a look at that. In the remaining time, I will switch back to the presentation and briefly finish one of the other major obligations under EU REACH, and that's authorization. With authorization, situation is quite simple because the UK will be unilaterally recognizing existing authorizations and authorizations in progress. So if you have an existing authorization or you have applied for authorization in the EU, you can happily trade and use the authorized substances still in the UK. Of course, if a new authorization will be required or filed, no matter if in the UK or in the EU, this will need to be redone, refiled again in the UK. I covered some of the main supply chain scenarios, but if you want to learn more, either shoot us an email, or you can also take a look at the website of the UK HSE. There's quite detailed guidance for different scenarios. And there is also detailed guidance on other chemical regulations as well. I also gave you a link to the full legal text of the legal act, which will effectively transpose EU REACH into UK legal system. I'm giving you also a few other valuable links where you can follow the news and practical guidances how to fulfill all obligations. And we still have 1 month to go before the transitional period ends, and then there will be at least 4 months to take action. If you can do the notification, I can only advise you to do so, because then you have much more time to take care of the rest. Also to see how your business goes in the UK, and it doesn't cost you much or almost nothing. The notification process is free of charge. There is no administrative fee from the UK authorities. If you haven't done so, the first thing to do definitely would be to map your supplier chains and see how your suppliers are ready for Brexit, and if they can already give you some evidence that they will stay compliant after Brexit. If not, then of course it's up to you what is the best strategy. And as I said, we are here to help you if needed. Our Don't Panic button works 24/7, so please don't hesitate to ask or contact us if we can be of any help. We are providing full turnkey services both in the EU as well as in the UK. We have an office registered in London as well as in Prague, Czech Republic, so we can provide you with full compliance services if needed. Thanks a lot. I can see in the questions and answers window and in the chat messages that there is a lot more to cover. So I will make sure that I answer all your questions. We will circulate it, and we will also be happy if you can give us feedback, not only about this webinar, but especially what else you would like to be interested in, what topics you would like to follow, what should we do as our next webinar. So thank you very much, and see you next time.